Hey guys, Andre here. Today we talk about parallel compression.
Never wanted to say we are awakened now.
Now, this is a topic that I see a lot of people actually failing at, I think. And I think the reason is, just like I did in the past, is that a lot of you are using parallel compression just because you saw someone using parallel compression. I know I did this back in the day. I'm not sure if it was on the internet or if I read something, but when I saw that people were using parallel compression, I started using it too. And what it was doing for me back in the day was that was giving me much more volume, and so it sounded more cool, I guess. But fortunately today I know exactly what I want from parallel compression, and so I'll play a little bit of this song and pay attention to the drums. Let's hear it.
I hid myself from the ones who cared. You hate yourself. Wanna kill you to say what you want from me. I see it. You're headed for disaster. The flood ahead. A meaningful disaster. Awaken eyes. Are they ready for this? I was somebody, can't you say? Awaken eyes. Can you cover the truth? I can be anything you dream. It's all in vain, you've shown up. A soul is cratered, hopeless. Awaken eyes. Never wanted to say we are awakened now.
So it sounds really good to me. Now let me show these drums in isolation, and I'll mute the parallel compression and you'll hear the difference. Now, of course, there's a jump in volume when I add the parallel compression, but here's what I want from parallel compression. I want more attack, more snap to the snare drum, and I want more ambience out of the drum kit. And because I know exactly what I want, I know how to dial in my compressor and what compressor I use. So I usually go with the Distressor just because it has a lot of tweaks that I can do. For instance, the Slate Digital Distressor has this sidechain circuit detector where I use always, pretty much all the time, the high pass and this little bump, this little EQ here. So the low end is not triggering my compressor, and this little EQ bump gives me more snap, a little bit more snap out of the snare drum. And sometimes I use too this high pass filter here, which is post-processing. And of course it has this mix knob, which sometimes is useful. And so let's hear just the parallel compressor. This is pretty much a mix of the drums in just this channel. So let me show you. So the bus 4 is my parallel compressor, and I'm sending a little bit of kick. I'm sending a lot of snare. It's actually at unity gain. Snare room sample at unity gain too. A little bit of toms, and I'm not really technical here. It's more of what I hear when I solo my parallel compressor. There's a little bit of overheads, rooms, and even my reverb, my snare reverb, it's going for my parallel compressor. And so when I'm tweaking my Distressor, remember that I said I want more snap out of the snare, more attack out of the whole drums, and more ambience. And so let me show you how I set it this way. So let's say that I want more ambience out of this parallel compressor. What I will do is to add a much faster attack and a much faster release. So let me show you. Let's hear with the drum kit. So a lot of ambience coming out of the parallel compressor. But this is, I think this is a little bit too much for this song, which is why I set it the way I set it, which is like this. Now, maybe you don't want this much ambience, so maybe you just want more attack, which in that case you can tweak both the attack and release time and the amount of compression, of course, or in this case you can dial back the mix knob. And that's pretty much it about parallel compression. There's really not a lot about it. One really important thing about parallel compression is that you shouldn't rely on parallel compression to get a great sounding drum kit. And what I mean with this is, at least this is the way I do it, of course. I first mix my drums until it sounds the way I want it, and then I add the parallel compression just because I want more snap and more ambience. And so as you can hear, I think it's sounding pretty cool, my drums, without the parallel compressor.
What you want from me?
And then of course I want more snap, more ambience, add parallel compression.
I see it. You're headed for disaster. A flood ahead. We are awakened.
And so that's it for today, guys. I hope to see you in the next video. Cheers!